Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, and my co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Chris. It's hot enough in Casa, Amor, and it's hot enough in the villa as well. Here we are, episode 15. I was thinking, which episode are we on there? Where would you like to start today? Because it is all going off, Chris, and I just don't know what to make of all of them.
I think the first one I want to talk about, Dave, is I'm off the Johnny train. He's a fucking player, isn't he? He's absolutely done a number on me, most of the public. He even got a pep talk from Caleb about the fact that he thinks Selly loves him. And he was like, oh shit. And this is after he said he snogged Mercedes 7 times, who is one of the most false people in there. So Johnny, obviously, he's not a good judge of character. He's looking at Johnny before he kissed her. She's looking at Johnny before she kissed him. She went, oh, I don't want to tell you what I do to you, you know. And he's like, and he's falling for this shit. And I'm like, this is straight out of fucking playground bollocks, Johnny. Don't fall for it. No, Dave, he falls for it. And he falls for it not once, but about 10 times. And even when fucking Caleb said to him, she's in love with you, he was like, oh man, I'm thinking he's going to have that talk and he's going to be really remorseful. He's going to try and make it up with Sally because she's going to see the kiss. And there's no doubt about it. They're going to show her the VT. And no, he carries on in bed. He carries on again the next day, and he even fucking goes for it after he should have stopped kissing her, Dave. He literally, like, he wanted to rip her clothes off in front of everyone. So, Johnny, I'm off the train, Dave.
Yeah, well, you gave them both barrels there, haven't you? So we're simple beings, us males, aren't we?
Yeah.
Because I'm with you. The moves that Mercedes were putting on him, I was just like, this is not going to work. Oh no, it has worked, and it's worked again.
I love it, Dave. I love it. You're right.
I'm not a fan of that Mercedes, Chris. I don't
No, I'm not.
I don't like the way she acts, the way she talks. It just bugs me. But I mean, she's not only caught the attention of Johnny in a big way, but I mean Connor seems to be a bit interested as well, doesn't he? So
Yeah, I don't get it, Dave. To me, and I'm not being horrible, Sally and Kirsten are got so much more class than this Mercedes, Dave. I'm sorry, but she just does nothing for me. I don't think she's got any morals, unfortunately. And Johnny's a fool.
you know who she reminds me a bit of, Chris? Anna from UK season 5.
What are you going to say then,
Oh.
Dave? With you being in Vegas, I was wondering what you were going to say. But yeah, go on. We know the ticky-tacky men on Vegas, Dave, don't they? But anyway, carry on.
Yeah, the old... Don't know what you mean.
We've all been there. We've seen him, Dave.
Right, Chris. So I'm going to tell a bit of a story now. Right. So
hang on. Do you want me to edit this out or not?
I may do. Let's decide it once I've told it, because it is borderline. So I was out with the lads in a in a gentleman's bar, and we'd booked a table and everything. So it was quite a special occasion. It wasn't a bachelor party, but it was a special occasion with blokes only. And we're sat on the table, and there must have been like a timer or something, and when it got to, I don't know, whatever it was, 9 o'clock or something like that, it's almost like someone rang a bell, and then we were fair fucking game then. I felt like a big, juicy fucking antelope or something being chased down by a bunch of lionesses. Honestly, all these girls pounced from nowhere and were fucking so aggressive in like trying to get you to take them off for a bit of a dance kind of thing. It was so uncomfortable, Chris. It just did my head in completely. Didn't enjoy it at all. All right, that's maybe not true. Did enjoy it a little bit, but it was kind of very, very uncomfortable. And I think if I was to make an analogy like that, like you were alluding to, it is a little bit like that, just really fucking overbearing and pushy. And some people like that. Clearly, Johnny and Connor quite like that. But no, it's a real turn off for me.
Dave, I think this is a great story. And I've got a big schnoz and I have a big nose. But even I can smell the bullshit that you found it fucking terrible.
Honestly,
I'm joking.
It was after the 5th dance, Chris. I was just wanting to have my beer. had no money left.
Well, that's always a problem, Dave. No, but I do agree. I think her pushy nature, I honestly don't find that attractive at all, Dave. I think it's really bizarre. Johnny's a fucking fool, an absolute. I'm not saying that him and Sally would even work on the outside. It looks like it would, but I think for me, Dave, he's shown his true colours. And Caleb had done the business. He'd said to him, I think she loves you. You need to think nobody's going to, he was being a friend, nobody's going to judge you, Johnny, but just, think about it. And the next minute, Caleb's going, tell you what, though, I'm really liking these cuddles I'm having. And it's like, Casa Amor on both sides is just, I don't think anybody's going to be together when these fucking meet up.
So the only person, or I see, has Justine done anything in particular? The
No,
only
she's a bit
person,
interested, but
the only person like, people, Justine and Sally are the only
yeah.
ones I think who aren't entertaining anything.
Yeah, yeah, they're not. And you know what's funny though, Dave? We've got the same scenario like the UK when we Casa Amor. Do you remember last year where there was a couple of cracking looking, I said that a bit too enthusiastic, cracking looking lads, but they were like, I call them non-contestants. So we've got Patrick on the guy's side, who we've not seen fuck all of really, and we've also got is it Gigi as well on our Gigi on the girls' side. We've not even seen her have a conversation with somebody, and it's like these two contestants have just been in and done nothing. They've completely edited them out of the show. I don't think it's their fault. I'm sure they're good people and there's been things going on, but the narrative of what we're seeing is every relationship's on a fucking string now. I mean, Mackenzie, we had fucking Jalen saying that Moira was the prettiest girl he'd ever seen. Next minute, it's Oliver Mackenzie. And then
Fucking Jalen. Again,
I
he's a
tell you what,
simple being, isn't he? It's like, oh, you're interested. Fuck Moira then.
yeah, she's the prettiest girl I've ever seen for such a long time. And I tell you what, when they were doing that game, and they said, I know the game went on and they was kissing, and bloody Johnny was just going through it with Mercedes. Even after the bell had
Fucking hell,
rung,
yeah, yeah.
he would have got done in a boxing match and fucking disqualified for illegal punches. He was going for it afterwards. It was literally a fucking floor show, and all the Caleb's like, what the fuck? But fucking, did you see when Jalen got hold of Mackenzie and they went, right, kiss passionately? Well, Dave, I was waiting for him to fucking pull his pants off.
Yeah.
He had her on the table, legs. I mean, I'm not saying she wasn't enjoying it. And I was thinking, when they said passionately kiss, I don't think they meant let's recreate Debbie Does Dallas. And that got recreated. And then on the guy's side, we got the same. And I was like, this has gone to a whole new level of fucking. I mean, Sally said she went, gee, it was like a soft porn thing. It was
Yeah.
almost a hardcore Sally. I'm sorry.
I am enjoying Sally more and more. She just seems like a genuine human being, which really puts her as a fucking outlier in most of the cases there. But yeah, I don't know. Though, Chris, just circling back to Johnny. So I think he wants his cake and eats it. Which, by the way, is a ridiculous saying, isn't it? If you have a cake,
Yeah.
of course you want to fucking eat it. But anyway, you know what I mean. Um, I think he thinks he's still got the option to go back in, and couple up, go in on his own, couple up with Sally, and they'll carry on. This is going to get back to Sally, and she's going to be
Oh
devastated,
my God.
Chris.
She was crying when she was talking about it literally once. She was
Yeah.
lumping her throat job. She went, I hope that, we come. And I'm like, oh my God. I mean, as much as we love it and that, there's still that human element of it, Dave, where I'm thinking, I'm going to be watching with my fingers over my eyes, but just sort of peeking enough to go, holy shit, because this is going to be one of them cringy. It is a Michael and Amber situation. They were nailed on to win Love Island. I know obviously Amber won it in the end, but they were the couple, they were unbeatable, and then he just completely lost his head, didn't he? And this is what Johnny's just, I don't know, there's a personality of Johnny's either been playing us all, or this is him 101, because he's come across here proper fucking blagged all of us, I think.
I, I think you might be right. I mean, like you say, I mean, again, Mercedes can be as aggressive as she wants, but ultimately, you've got to kiss someone back. When he's going back to the lads, the way he phrased it is, she started to make out with me. Really? Is that what really happened? Because it generally takes two people. Even if someone goes in for a kiss, you don't have to reciprocate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I still think I think Johnny might think, I might go for a bit of fun here and then still couple up with Sally.
But the thing is, Dave, it's one of them, and he thinks he's going to get away with it. He's like, you're on a TV show with millions of people, and do you not realize they're going to play you this fucking video?
I think it was yesterday, though, wasn't it? Someone said, like, what goes in Casa Amor stays in Casa Amor. No, it doesn't, you idiots. You're on a fucking reality TV show. Of course it doesn't stay in Casa Amor. And all the people watching, of course. Oh, bellends. Speaking of which, Chris, before you're going out, on a party or whatever, do you, like, get yourself in the mirror, do a bit of a pose, just like,
You know what?
Casa Amor.
No, Dave. It wasn't Casa Amor. He said, God's a war. That's what he did, is he did the double bicep. Now, in my day, there's been a couple of times in my life where I've been in not bad shape, Dave. And I will profess, I did do 7 years ago, I did a photo shoot with a friend of mine to give myself a discipline because I'd lost a lot of weight. I'd gone from like 18 and a half stone, 19 stone to about 13 stone. So everyone else thought that I was ill, but I was actually at the right weight for my height. And at the moment, I'm somewhere in between. But I went down and did this photo. My friend was a photographer, and he said, I do abstract stuff. And I just do scenery. I don't do human beings. I don't do the body. I don't do anything like that. He said, so they've said, I mean, my mate had left. He was in the army for years, Dave. He left. He was an electrician. He wanted to be a photographer. And he said, would you be interested in getting together? I know you're doing losing weight and that. And I said, well, you know what? I need to really, really get my diet in check. So he said, why don't we set a thing and we'll do a photo shoot in 3 months? I'll do it all for free. He's a good mate of mine anyway. He said, but I want to use you, like the shapes of your body and everything. And I'm thinking, oh, fuck me. There's not going to be, I don't want to be that many shapes. So I did strip down and I've got the pictures to prove it. And I did this photo shoot, Dave, and genuinely I had to do the double bicep. And I've never took anything dodgy, you know what I mean? Like most people to get shredded after takes more than just fucking protein and creatine to get like that, let's be honest. But I'd look pretty good. First time in my life where I was like, you know what, I actually look okay. And I tell you what, Dave, when I look back at them pictures now, when you're doing them double biceps, I think you fucking big-headed dick. You know what I mean? And these guys look better than I looked. But like I look at them and I'm watching him and I'm cringing. And I was cringing, Dave. Like the hairs on the back of my neck, cringing, thinking, oh my god, I've done that in the mirror as well to see what I look like. I suppose every man's probably done it, but you don't do it on a fucking TV show. I was like, oh, you dickhead.
Right. If you're in the gym and you're trying to sculpt your body, so you are doing, I don't want to say bodybuilders because you're not like Arnie, but you are just trying to improve bits of your body. I think that's fine. I remember right, first time when I signed up to this new gym a couple of years ago now, and this guy, he did look the business, but he had his jogging trousers on, and this is a big like open plan gym and stuff. And he gets right in front of the mirror, pulls his trousers down, and he's got his little fucking tiny tighty whities on there. His little
It's little
budgie
dick then,
smugglers.
Dave.
Right. Just so he can tense his quads and have a look like, the
Yeah.
quads are looking quite big there. But I'm like, fucking hell, man, just put some shorts on if you're working on your legs and you want to check how your legs are coming on. Put some fucking shorts on. Don't just whip your trousers down. So I just remember I just fucking stood behind him. I had to move. I was like just chuckling away to myself. But yeah, so if you're doing that and you're in the gym, but he's not. He's just like fucking psyching himself up, to go into battle, to go and pull some ladies. Well, not some ladies, I guess, but some women.
Yeah, but you know what though, Dave? Let's be honest, right? I'm being genuinely serious now, right? You said about that guy, and you go to the gym and stuff like that. And I remember seeing someone like these guys' bodies they look fantastic. And when you see a guy, and there's no disrespect to ladies, I've seen lady competitors look amazing. A couple of people when I was younger were bodybuilders, and when they were in shape, it was phenomenal to see. But I remember seeing a guy, I'd never seen someone like look like the Ultimate Warrior or, like that, like The Rock.
Yeah.
You see The Rock and that. And when you were stood in the presence of someone like that, it's fucking inspiring because I remember this guy was competing in a bodybuilding. He had like fucking about 3% body fat. He took his top off because they were doing poses and stuff. And he wasn't being a big head. He was out in like a corner of this special room for the posing. It was a proper like bodybuilder's gym. And I remember coming in thinking, I am so inadequate. You know what I mean? Like, you're looking at this guy thinking he's an absolute machine. Don't get me wrong, Dave. I'm sure he was absolutely feeling like shit on the inside, but he looks amazing. So when you see that and someone's doing it, it's actually inspiring, but it's also, you think, how the hell have you got like that? The sacrifice. So I have respect for guys I know we've gone on a proper tangent now. I've got total respect for the guys in the house. Like Johnny has got a phenomenal body, Dave. To get in that
They,
shape and
they all
keep
have,
it
haven't
is
they?
amazing. Oh, brilliant. Honestly, absolutely phenomenal, all of them. They all have. You're right. You're totally right. But I just think that is just cringe. We've gone probably talked about this far too long about his muscles, but it's just cringe city. It really is. It's like, oh fucking hell, come on. You know what I mean? Like you don't need this at all. And he's coming across as a dick anyway.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Um, I think I'm a bit annoyed with Carrington just in general, I think, because I just think, to be honest, with Mackenzie, he's got an absolute diamond there. She's absolutely stunning, but she seems like such a sweet girl as well. And she can't get over, she can't just enjoy herself with, getting to know the other guys in the villa. Because she's still pining over Carrington. Meanwhile, he's like fucking, wait, it's bachelor party. It's just, it's just annoying when you see such an imbalance like that. It's like you actually don't know what he's really like. You've got that what you think he is. But anyway, I mean, what do you think? I think Connor. What do you think of him? Because I think he thinks that him and Mackenzie are like, they're in a really good place now. I don't think Mackenzie's asked anymore. I think she's like, no, you know what? Some time away, and I don't think things were as good as I thought they might have been.
No, and look, we get a preview of tomorrow's episode, so we don't see what happens with Connor, but Mackenzie is all in on Jalen, isn't she? So they go for a kiss. Bit similar to what's happened with Johnny tonight at Mercedes. Same scenario, bit of chat, bit of this. Jalen goes in, she reciprocates. You see him snogging each other's faces off, right? Normally I'd be like, oh, fuck me. Like I've just called Johnny out, I would. But I think I don't agree with it in some respects, but it is Love Island. They're not completely exclusive. They're not a proper couple. However, he's only got himself to blame, Connor Dave.
Yeah,
This last week or so, he has fucked her around with mixed messages, telling one thing to the guys and then saying other things to her, being an absolute bottle merchant that he can't just tell her straight how he feels. And then he ends up like fucking literally pulling an engagement ring out of his pocket when really he doesn't want to go near the girl. So I think I don't, for once, Dave, I'm going to side slightly with Mackenzie. We've got to see it in context of the episode, but he's only got himself to blame, in my opinion.
yeah, I think so. I mean, I think we'd called it out just before Casa and More, hadn't we? That Mackenzie had been a bit, bunny boilerish, with the way she was behaving, and like he ended up apologizing when he had no real reason to apologize. But I think since, I mean, it was Trey initially. In fact, it was Rachel who had a word with her in a very diplomatic way. Remember, it was like, oh, some other people might think, you're giving him a bit of a hard time, And then Trey was saying, be nice to him and stuff. I think since then she's not done anything wrong, but he's just been flaky as fuck, hasn't he? And so, and he's like, definitely his head was turned with Lauren, but then he comes back and he asks Mackenzie to be his girlfriend. And then he's like, "Oh, I don't want to put a label on it. Oh, but will you be my girlfriend?" And it's like, for fuck's sake, it just he's such a dithering twat. And I'm regretting saying I'm feel like I'm quite like him.
That's Love Island, isn't it? Within the space of a week or a couple of episodes, you're like, he's a fucking dick. She's a dick. That's the good thing about the show, Dave. You can be all in on somebody. And like, I thought Johnny and Sally was set. I even said, like, these are going to make it and all. I'm like, I feel a fucking fool now. If I listen to the earlier episodes, I'll be cringing going, oh, what a knobhead. So
Yeah, yeah.
I am shocked by that. But you did say I won't be shocked by anybody. So I think literally the whole of the island or the fake island is going to be split up by the time they meet up.
I think the only ones who might not be are people who might not find a match.
Yes.
But actually, I mean, they all. I tell you what, I think Connor might end up on his own, Chris. I think Mackenzie will end up with Jaleb. Um, sorry, Jalen. And, Caleb looked to be all in. He's quite liking getting in there with Cher. Freckles is getting in there with what's her name? What's her name?
Faith.
Faith. Yep. Kirsten. Kirsten could still not get over Carrington. Carrington looks like he's definitely going to go with Laurel. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I think if Laurel got on with Tom Hardy, you'd have a right sort of. You'd have a better
Fuck
pairing
off,
then, wouldn't you?
Dave. She got
Sorry.
married to him, Lovell Hardy.
Laurel Hardy. That'd be.
Fucking
Oh
hell,
dear.
Dave. That's a
Sorry.
terrible dad joke.
No. My mind was just literally wandering there. Sorry. So yeah, I can't see anyone. Oh, Justine. What about Justine? We've not really seen
Yeah.
her interact with anyone particularly.
No, true to be fair in Caleb, but Caleb was swaying himself. He looked like Mr. Dependable, and even he's fucking questioning what's going on. So I don't know, Dave. I don't know. I think the pep talk from the producers has helped both houses because these people have come in and just rocked it, which is great to see.
Yeah. Oh, fucking rocked it to its core. We talked about Michael and Amber. I think Johnny and Sally, that would be a bigger shock than Johnny and Amber, than Michael and Amber, because Michael and Amber, if you remember before Casa Amor happened, they had that kind of weird argument where it was clear they couldn't resolve their issues. They were both being just
Yeah.
a bit childish, and they'd had a few blow-ups and that. So, whereas we've seen nothing when Johnny and Sally were together, we saw nothing to suggest that there was anything there. Even when Johnny had a bit of an ogle over Lauren,
Yeah.
um, it wasn't really there wasn't really anything in it. Whereas I think Mercedes' aggressive play might just. I mean, she's just fucking in there for a bit of fun, isn't she? She's
Oh,
pretty much
fuck
said as
me.
much.
Dave, she'll drop him as soon as they leave that fucking casino. Let's be honest. There's no relationship there. I'd be fucking amazed if they're together outside the end of this show.
Oh, no, not at all. I still think, Johnny will want to still couple up with Sally, but he's
Yeah.
just going to have a bit of fun before he gets back.
Dave, as they say, you can't eat that fucking cake, can you? You have your cake and eat it. Sorry, can't you? Can eat the cake, but you can't have the cake and eat it. Another great Chris analogy there, people. But yeah, anyway.
Now, Chris, I mean, we have had a few tweets and stuff. So Terence has got back to us, said, told you Caleb would turn. That girl is the hottest one in there. I think he's talking about Cher there. And fellas, I like Mackenzie with Jalen. Again, I don't know if I've seen enough. And from what Mackenzie's saying, I don't think it's, am I thinking about Connor or Jalen? I think it's more like actually, I thought the thing with Connor might be it. This thing might be real, but I think, meeting the other guys, I think has done enough to convince her, or it's on the way to convincing her that probably the thing with Connor isn't so special, and she probably won't find love in the villa. That's my prediction.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so he says, can't wait to see Connor's face when he comes in alone. Oh, that's going to be fucking brutal. Johnny was doing way too much. I like Cher with Caleb. Freckles found his match. I do like Faith, to be honest. She definitely reminds me of Willow from Buffy. The
Yeah.
Bandcamp one. I think it's the eyes, but yeah. So and also we had Chris a message from Kerry Ann. She says, "Love the podcast. I'm so happy I found it before the season started. I've watched a lot of the UK seasons and both US seasons now. Last US season wasn't great. This is a little bit better, but not close to the UK. I don't know. It's getting close for me. I think the biggest issue is the pacing. It was way too quick and then got slow and already Casa Amor. And actually, that's a fair point, isn't it? Casa Amor really did seem to come quite quickly, didn't it? I thought it would be the end of week 3, beginning of week 4, that kind of time. but it
Yeah,
came at the beginning of week 3, didn't it? Which it
Mhm.
did feel really quick.
It's going to change the dynamic of the whole show now, though, Dave. The fallout from this, you will not see the same people. Like, well, you always laugh, don't you? You go back on this show and you forget it's the space of 6 weeks, but you'll go, like James, we were slagging off. Everyone's forgotten about him already. We were calling him all sorts of name under the sun. Nobody gives a fuck about him. He's just like, well, he's just another contestant who's not made it. And that's what happens in Love Island. You forget and we'll talk about it and you'll go, oh, God, I've forgotten. I'll say the same and go, shit, I forgot they left. They might have left a week ago, but so much happens in that week that you just don't know who the hell they are.
You know what, James? I'm convinced he's still watching every show. Like, fucking, I told you, Moira. You're getting dicked around by everyone. Fucking Jalen told you you're the most beautiful girl in the world, and now he's fucked you off as well. You should have stuck with me. Angrily shouting at the TV.
With his fist. Yeah.
But I tell you, I mean, Moira, I mean, I'd have to say, her love language is probably words of affirmation, isn't it? You know, she just likes people saying nice things about her. She reacts very, very positively to that. But yeah, no one seems to stick around long enough to do anything about it.
Right, guys. If you want to contact the show, at CD Reality Cast on Twitter or Instagram. If you want to email us, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. So, Dave, cracking episode, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye now.